So Jam from the game developer Miziziziz. In this jam, everybody has to make a game from the same art kit. This is the art kit, and as you can see, it's quite varied and beautiful actually. So I'll have to brainstorm a little bit to see what I come up with. So I'm trying to come up with ideas, and as it's a game jam, I want to do something like a little bit weird and quirky. And I really liked this chicken sprite here. So what I was thinking, like making some kind of chicken herder, and the chickens will follow him, and he has to guide the chickens to safety through some obstacles and dangers and things like that. So this is a quick prototype of this idea, and I made a little herder guy, you know, and if he comes close to the chickens, they follow him. So I was going further on the prototype, and I decided on this mechanic of the chickens following me and possibly having enemies that I'll have to shoot with my crossbow, and that I would have to guide the chickens to this little coop, and once they enter the coop, it was like I was scoring points, and I have to guide them and put in the next levels. I would put enemies that I have to defend them from the enemies, and this was going to be the basic mechanic, and it's good. It was good enough. It could make for a fun little game, but I was finding it was too similar to the concept of my last game jam. This is the game I made for the GMTK Game Jam. Is crowd control, and although it's actually quite different, it's like a somewhat similar concept of guiding little creatures to a finish line. So it's different enough, but as the purpose of a game jam is to try new things, new mechanics, I decided I would script the chicken guiding project and try a new concept. I went back to the sprite sheet and to see what else could I come up with. Went back to the notebook and drafted a bit a concept of kind of like Wind Waker, where you go from island to island collecting items, and you go from island to island with your boat, and there would be an enemy, the big enemy that you have to defeat, but you can only defeat the enemy if you get the items in the islands first. So I thought this concept was promising, so I decided to try it. I quickly prototyped this idea, and I made a few little islands and a little boat that you conduct around by clicking. Okay, so today I implemented a lot of core mechanics to the game. Now you can control this little guy while on land, and you can come to your trusty vessel and embark on it and travel to other isles, to other islands, and then you can disembark. For the landing and entering and leaving the boat, this is the system I figured out. It's kind of confusing and probably, most likely not the most efficient way of doing this, but it worked, so I stick with it. And it consists of 3 types of collision boxes: the green ones, the pink ones, and the blue ones. The green ones, they stop the boat from sailing through the land, so the boat stops when he gets in contact with the green boxes. The pink ones, they serve the purpose of the landing area, so you can enter the boat and leave the boat if the boat is touching the pink boxes. Only if the boat is touching the pink boxes. This means that you can't leave the boat in the middle of the ocean. And finally, the blue boxes serve the purpose of stopping the player from walking into the ocean. And so if the player walks through here, he will stop right at the blue box. I wanted to put the blue box like close here, but it had a bug that if you leave the boat too close to the blue box, the player enters, clips the blue box and gets stuck. So the way I figure out to avoid this is to put the blue box kind of further from the land. And it's not crazy that the player can walk in this little part here, because you can imagine that's like shallow water or something, so it's not that bad that he goes beyond this dividing line for the islands. And of course the player won't see these collision boxes, he will see this during play, and it ended up working just fine. I wanted to have simple quests in the game, is how you get equipment and weapons to fight the squid. So I implemented a basic dialogue box system, and some of the dialogue is just like narrative, how do you call it? It's kind of like for flavor. This guy talks, are you going to kill the squid? Like to give a sense of what's happening in the world. And there are other dialogues like this. Different NPCs will react differently to you. And some of the dialogue is quite pragmatic. So this guy here at the beginning says, you can use my map. It's right over there. So you know that there's a map and probably you should go get it. It's kind of like an inbuilt tutorial on the game. I wanted a map system for the game, and I wanted to be like this. It's kind of a crude drawing, but it serves its purpose, and I wanted specifically that the map didn't show the player location. I wanted this because I think it gives a more exploratory feel to the map. You kind of have to look around, like here I am in an island with another one close by, and you see the shape of the island, you open the map, you kind of have to interpret that, here I am, like there's this island here, with other island here with a yellow house, and you see the yellow houses there. So it's a kind of simple thing, but I think it contributes to the sense of exploration and the possibility of getting lost, possibly, if you don't plan where you're going. So when you enter the boat, you kind of have to look at the map and decide, I want to go to this island here, so I'm here, so point my boat kinda in this direction, and hopefully I will reach the island intended. I designed a few different quests that send you to different locations on the game. Gave the player a weapon to attack on land. And you can also unlock a cannon to shoot from the boat. One of the main criteria in this game jam is how you use the art kit. And the Kenny art kit, you could do almost anything with it, and I used the sprites in a sort of straightforward manner for the most part, but I also wanted to mix and match and alter a few of the sprites. One of the sprites I did this with is for the main enemy of the game, the squid. Kenny's art kit had this little guy here that's kinda cool squid, but I wanted to make it improve on it and make it more interesting. So I separated it into different parts, and the body here, and gave a little animation to the body, and also the tentacle, and gave it an animation as well. And I put them together in a way that the squid looks like it's kinda half submerged on the ocean, and that it has multiple tentacles, and I gave different slightly darker colors to the tentacles on the back. And it doesn't move quite as fast in the game, I slow it down. It moves like this in the game, each tentacle kind of moves independently from the other, and I think it's kind of a cool effect. When I had the main things lined up, it was a matter of polish and doing the final details. I designed a title screen, a screen with the instructions, a dev screen, and a victory screen. Finally, I wanted to add some music, so I went to opengameart.org and find this cool music that you're listening from Random Mind. And I wanted to have two different tunes, exploration tune that it's this one you're listening, and a combat tune. And I wanted that the tune to change and when you encounter the squid, so I wanted the battle tune to start when you encounter the squid. And the way I figure out is to put a music object like right on the center of the squid, and when you get close to it, the exploration music stops and the battle music starts, and when you get away from it, the opposite happens. So this was a last addition to the game, but I kind of feel it added a lot to the mood of the battle. So this is it. It was the squid all along, my entry for the Miz Jam 1. It was quite fun to do it, and I hope to take part on future Miss Jams. Cheers, take care.